All right, welcome into sports on WTOL 11 Plus. I'm Chase Bachman alongside Tyler Segerman and Noelle Blumel. We are talking March Madness. The college basketball postseason tournaments are happening. How excited are you guys? This is one of the best times of the year for sports, right?
I know. I don't know if you can tell, but my dress is kind of showing how excited I am. Subconsciously picked this, but Tyler and I got a great taste of kind of a preview to it at the MAC tournament in Cleveland last week, so I'm ready to go.
Yeah, there's a lot of chaos and excitement in Cleveland. I'm sure a lot of chaos and excitement coming up here in March. I love the upsets. I don't know about you, but I love seeing those double-digit seeds make that Cinderella run, create some excitement going into this tournament.
Absolutely. Like I said, this is one of the best times of the year for college athletics. And before we get to the teams in the big dance, let's check on our local teams and see what they're doing this postseason.
Yeah, off to see first with the Toledo men. It was another tough end for the Rockets after winning 4 straight MAC regular season titles. Toledo fell to 4th place in this year's standings. But once again, the Rockets fell short also in the MAC tournament, losing in the semifinals to the eventual champion in Akron. It does not look like the Rockets will be in any postseason tournaments this season as Toledo finished the year with a record of 18-15. And Rockets' NCAA tournament drought extended to 45 years.
And as for the Bowling Green men, they had an improbable run to the MAC tournament. At one point, the Falcons were 2-7 in conference play. Then at the start of February, they won 7 of their last 10 and snuck in as the 8th seed to the MAC tournament. They lost in the first round also to the eventual champion Akron, and it does not look like they will play in any postseason tournaments as well. Bowling Green's NCAA tournament drought extends to 57 years.
Yeah, so I guess the advice is just don't play Akron men's basketball, right? And meanwhile, on the women's side, another good year for the Rocket women. The Toledo Rockets unable to extend their MAC regular season title streak to 4, but they did finish second and played very well in Cleveland. The Rockets winning their quarterfinal and semifinal games, but lost in the championship to number 1 seed at Ball State. Their season, though, not over. Toledo's 24-8 record was good enough to get them in the WBIT as the Rockets will host Minnesota in the first round tomorrow night.
Yeah, tomorrow night at Savage Arena, so that will be exciting. And finally, the Bowling Green women. This one was a heartbreaker for Falcon fans. In their second year under head coach Fred Shamil, went 16-11 and got the 6th seed in the MAC tournament. Falcons would end up losing in the first round to 3-seed Buffalo. And like the men's teams, it does not look like they will be in any postseason tournaments as well. And their NCAA tournament appearance drought extends to just 14 years.
Yeah, but even though our local teams won't be in the big dance, we still have some local players in the tournament. Former Rogers standout Jemiah Neal will be suiting up for the 6th-seeded Creighton Blue Jays. The senior is averaging about 12 points a game. He scored 13 in the Big East Championship. Creighton will take on Louisville to open the tournament on Thursday. Also, Zeb Jackson from Maumee Valley playing for VCU after transferring from Michigan. The Rams are back in the tournament. They'll play BYU. Jackson helped the Rams win the Atlantic 10 tournament title. He's also averaging double figures off the bench. On the women's side, Grace Van Sluten in her first year at Michigan State, the Spartans' leading scorer. She and former BGSU coach Robin Freilich looking to lead MSU on a deep tournament run. They open with Harvard on Saturday. And Bellevue alum Casey Santoro now on Florida Gulf Coast. Her and the Eagles will take on Oklahoma in the first round. Her dad Corey and the Bellevue Lady Red are coming off the program's first state title. So obviously lots of local players to be excited about. But it's not just the players, it's also the officials. Noelle?
Yes, Terry Wymer was a college basketball official for almost 40 years. He officiated more than 20 NCAA tournaments, 5 Final Fours, and 3 national championship games. And he did coming from the village of North Baltimore. So with that, welcome on longtime college basketball ref, Terry. Thank you for being here.
Thanks for having me this evening.
Absolutely. And you've been on the big stage. What is it like officiating a Final Four, especially in comparison to all the other ones?
I've done it 5 times. The largest crowd was in Dallas. I think there was 78,000 people, and very loud. Of course, at that time, the noise is actually over your head. So you hear the players and the coaches and your concentration. Everybody says, aren't you tired after that game? You're tired mentally, but physically you're not.
Yeah, the scrutiny. I mean, you guys come under so much scrutiny in the regular season.
Yes.
When it's a Final Four game and you're in a big dome stadium, 60 to 80,000 people, do the jeers feel more intense? Just tell me about that, the scrutiny compared to, regular games.
Well, we're expected to be perfect on every game. Right? So you try to be, but each official misses calls, as everybody does, misses shots and so on and so forth. So you're scrutinized quite deep. Social media. Through that, fans are always looking for an edge, especially with gambling nowadays, which has really caused a problem for officiating. But the scrutiny is above and beyond all. I mean, it's really hard to tell you the facts of how bad it really is out there to be scrutinized. We need security, deep security. We get threats. Just in the past month, I've had 3 threats, and I'm not even officiating anymore, but I'm assigning the officials. So scrutinized, very deep. And but we're, through the years, because I worked 28 years in the Big Ten, and you train yourself. Sometimes you walk out of the room, sometimes you back out of the room. So.
Yeah, you just touched on something there. Gambling has been legalized in so many states. Sports betting is so popular now. Have things gotten even worse for you guys as officials? From an official's perspective, have things gotten that much worse over the last 5-10 years? Oh,
most certainly, because an individual can sit in the stands now and prop bet and bet on everything from the jump ball, who's going to recover the out of bounds, who gets the first turnover, so on and so forth. And it's, but there's just so much money. I forget how many billions of dollars bet on the Final Four. It's an outstanding. It's over $1 billion something, and it's just it's crazy. It's dangerous for us and players and coaches. I can tell you, I know players that have had threats. One player individually, excellent shooter, goes 2 for 12. Some better threatened him. Coach Woodson was at Indiana. He had threats. So it's not just officials per se. I also had an official in the Ohio State-Nebraska game. He did miss a call at the end of the game. And then as soon as he got to the locker room, somebody had his phone and made threats. Last year, Ohio State and Illinois and Minnesota, I think it was the semifinals. There was a call that was missed, but we caught that guy because we have the FBI. We work with the FBI.
Which is crazy to think about. Yeah. You guys are just sports game officials, and you have the FBI that you're working with.
Yes, they will. Commissioner Petiti of the Big Ten has more or less a bodyguard with him and a FBI guy with him. And then we get to use that source also to help us.
Yeah, and you mentioned it a second ago. You've been out of the officiating game, on the court at least for the last 3 years.
Correct.
You're still supervising. Tell people about your role now that you're out of, on the court officiating.
I'm actually employed by the Big Ten Conference now, but I'm the executive director of the consortium, which consists of the Big Ten, the Mountain West, MAC, Summit, and Horizon. And I have other people working for me in those, but I oversee the whole thing. My primary focus is the Big Ten, but I got Mike Sanzier, MAC, and Summit. You may have met him at the tournaments. Donnie Epley oversees the Horizon, and David Smith oversees the Mountain West.
Yeah, and you were talking about before we started just the long hours. I mean, you're having to watch so many games now. I imagine you didn't have to watch nearly the amount of basketball that you do now. Tell me about that, all the hours that you spend watching basketball.
So what happens is my wife, I didn't want to go to Chicago to the office, okay? That's a long commute. And they would provide me something, but I talked them into redoing a room in our home, and I can watch 7 games at a time if I so desire. First thing in the morning, I'm up there by 8, and it's usually 12 to 14 hours a day from October to today is my first day off.
Yeah.
It was.
Congratulations.
It was. Thank you. Thank you. But so you work a lot of hours. The thing that causes issues with me is we got the West Coast teams. Those games come on at 10 o'clock at night. So I'm lucky to get to bed at 1 o'clock, 1:30, back up the next morning because I may need to break down more games. But I watched every Big Ten league game this year, every Big Ten, and that's a major task.
Yeah, and you got to feel like you know ball better than a lot of the fans, right? Like you
I can tell you the offenses of each team, the players, how to guard them, things like that.
Yeah, so the hours are incredible. I can't even imagine, all the hours that you put in watching. What's that like, trying to oversee so many officials? Do you feel like, they've gotten sharper over the years? Do you feel like, the profession of officiating is getting harder to do?
I think it's getting more difficult. I think there's a top tier of officials now, probably 30 officials. We have women working for us now in the Big Ten. I brought 4 ladies in, did an outstanding job. One worked last night in Dayton, represented us. But it's becoming very difficult to find new officials. Yeah. You guys go to high school games. Tell me how that's very difficult to cover them, let alone ours. Then there's a tier underneath. But local, we have Ben Soroka, who just got on our staff last year, is going to do a great job. And then John Floyd, who I've kind of mentor all the way through. And he's going to take off real soon, and he'll be that next tier up. But he's a very good official.
So he's kind of the next you, I guess.
Yeah,
he's going to be that guy that has written the business for 40 years, has worked a lot of games.
Yeah, but he has good character. I always tell these guys they got to prioritize. You got to have, faith, family, a job, and basketball. Because people always say, how did you do that? And I said, well, I had faith in my family support. So, and as long as they adhere to that and keep it in context, they do pretty well.
Yeah, 5 Final Fours, 3 national championship games,
Yes.
right? Any of those stick out to you, anything?
Yeah, the 16 was in Houston, and that was in North Carolina. Villanova won their first. Actually, I had both of Villanova's championships.
Yeah, so it was the 16 and 18, right?
Yeah, 16 was unbelievable. The shot that was made.
Yep. Big buzzer beater.
But no, that was exciting. I think it rates either 1 or 2 behind the North Carolina State Houston game.
Yeah.
When they vote for them. So it's pretty neat to be part of that.
Yeah, I mean, just some incredible college basketball moments. Tyler, did you have anything that you wanted to
Yeah, I was going to say, well, you had 2 California kids right here, so we understand the West Coast struggle of trying to watch things back home. But you talk about, I don't think a lot of fans realize this, but there's a lot of homework the officials have to do to prepare for each matchup, each team. Can you talk a little bit about that, and how does that amplify come tournament time?
Well, I just assigned all the Big Ten tournament and the Mountain West tournaments, and I'll let the other guys do that. So we talk about before each game which players have to score. When I say that, I mean sometimes it's a very physical game. If one of them gets hurt, the team's going to lose. So the coaches, how to handle the coaches. If they, how the coach's demeanor is. If they're quiet, which it's hard to believe, but we have 18 coaches, probably 15 are real quiet, right? But if they jump, something went wrong. So you have to understand that. Each one of them have a tablet with them. So after the game, they know there's like 2, 3, 5 plays that they have to look at. So as soon as they get to the locker room, they start pulling their tablet up and going through it. The advantage I have is if you're working a game, you get 1 shot. It's fast. I get 6 typically because I got every angle that I can pull up immediately to see if they got the play right or not.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you saw, the other day, the Michigan State game, I think it was the Wisconsin game, looked like there was a foul at the end of Michigan State. And from one angle, it looks like it was. And the other angle, you could see that he got the ball, thank God. So they don't forget when you miss plays.
Yeah. During your officiating days, too, obviously you got a front row seat to these teams as they're trying to go win a championship. What do you think makes a great March Madness team?
Oh, well, I think a lot of luck goes into it. I really do. I think your teams are more equal, and let me tell you why. If you have a great Duke team, and you have maybe you have a 4 seed or something that are going to play, the 4 can hang around a lot longer than anticipated because of how long the timeouts are. They say they're 30, but they actually go to like 60, 90, and then in a full timeout, they say it's 3 minutes. It usually goes to almost 4. So you get extra timeouts to rest. So where you may have 5 excellent players, over here they have 3 excellent players. Those 3 can hang on for some time. So, but the excitement, just like last night's game, the long pass, started off the March Madness pretty crazy with that, having to be in the right place, the right time, put it in. So.
All right, Terry Wymer, longtime official. Terry, thank you so much.
Thanks for having me.
Appreciate it so much. We really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Awesome. So, Noelle, you've got something that you want to show us?
Yeah, Tyler and I yesterday went to a Toledo School of the Arts, and we're going to see how that panned out. Tyler, how did you think the experience went?
Filling out March Madness brackets are fun and everything, but getting a sense of what 6th graders and how they kind of are looking at what to do was exciting and interesting. As you can see there, we were both looking to ask some questions and see kind of what was going in their minds. And I don't know if we're going to play the package here, but it was an amazing experience and definitely worth doing again.
Absolutely. So we'll see the result of how they picked who the champion is going to be on April 7th.
All right, well, hello everyone. My name is Tyler Segerman. This is Noelle Blumel. We work with WTOL 11 Sports, the local TV and news station. So today we are going to do a fun little activity. How many of you guys have heard of March Madness? Raise your hand. So pretty much all of you. Perfect. Okay. So you don't have to know anything about the teams or the brackets. What we're gonna do is just have you guys write your name on each of these brackets right here, and then all you have to do is you're gonna fill out who you think's gonna win. Doesn't matter why, doesn't matter if you get it right.
And usually people select the team based on how good they are, who they think is gonna do better, but honestly, people fill out brackets based on any kind of logic. Like we said, if you like one mascot's better than the other, you can pick them, and sometimes that happens. There's these thing called upsets and busting brackets, and it's when the team who's the underdog beats the team that's technically supposed to win. So there really is no wrong answer because nothing has really happened yet. So honestly, go with your gut, go with whatever logic you're based on, all the way down to who's going to be the ultimate champion on April 7th. Follow along.
I love LeBron James.
Okay, that's good. Unfortunately, he's not playing in this, but that is a good, good there.
But Akron is in here.
Yes.
He's from Akron, and Akron is in here, so you can choose Akron to win it.
Yeah, so what you guys are gonna do, so like for this first one, you got number 1 Auburn against number 16 Alabama State / St. Francis. So you're gonna pick which team you think is gonna move on. So if you think it's gonna be Auburn, which that would be my choice, you'd write number 1 Auburn on the next line and then go down.
Louisville? All right, let's do it. What's the logic on that? Why are you picking Louisville?
I don't know. I just think I like their name. Michigan's
Yes,
gonna win.
ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Michigan.
So Michigan versus
Michigan.
So why do you like Michigan so much?
Because like that's just my team, okay? They win in football. You know what? Football, Ohio State, you lost too many times, okay?
Go Michigan, right?
Yeah, go blue.
So if you guys have any questions, I can tell you what the colors are, if that helps. If you guys want to pick by color. If you want to pick by color, it's up to you.
Okay.
All right, give me a game. I'll tell you the colors.
I want any blue.
Any blue, okay. Let's see. They're kind of blue and orange. They're kind of orange though. Creighton's blue. Creighton's blue. Yep.
So how are you picking teams? What's kind of your logic, your reasoning behind each one?
So my mom's family lives in Alabama.
Perfect.
So I want to go for that. Just
There you go. I love it. What about you?
I'm just going with the
Occasional upset. Okay.
I have Creighton beating Louisville because it's like 8-9.
It's pretty close, yeah. So you never know what can happen. And remember, the reason it's called Madness, March Madness, is because, for example, see how this is 13 and that's 4? Sometimes 13 beats 4. So that's when the madness happens. So it's just, you pick where you think the madness is going to happen in each one, all right? But you guys are doing great.
I'm just writing whatever sounds like it'll win.
Yeah? Okay. Going by sound of name, I like it.
I was glad.
Yeah.
Can I pay you for the answer?
There is no answer key because the games start on Thursday. You hang on to this and you can see by April 7th, that's when the winner will be decided. You can go back and see each game, how many you got right.
You think gonna be the champion?
Correct. So we'll break it down. You go team by team.
I like that.
Clemson. My dad grew up in Clemson.
Nice.
Did he really?
Okay.
Oh my gosh, awesome.
You think Clemson's going to be Houston, or are you still working on that one?
Yeah.
I don't think so.
No.
I think they're gonna win.
I know. That's awesome. It's a smart choice. It's the humble choice. Yeah, I get it.
They're a good team, but they just.
Yeah, I get it.
Little quick poll with you guys, all right? So how many of you... Okay, so how many of you had Auburn going far?
Just going far.
Liquid is far.
Like you wrote their name multiple times.
A lot of people? Okay.
Good choice.
Michigan State, who do you have winning? St. John's,
St.
I
John's,
like
I
that.
like that
Okay,
choice.
Big
I
Red.
like it.
How about you? Who'd you have winning?
Drake!
Drake. Why Drake?
I think you know why.
Florida, I like it. How about you guys? Who'd you have winning?
I had Houston.
Houston. Duke, okay. Houston. Troy, I like that. Arizona, okay. Noelle likes that
Hurts
one.
my heart.
Oh,
But
yeah,
it's
that's
probably,
true.
Yeah, it's a good choice.
All right, guys, appreciate you guys for participating. You guys make sure you write your names on them, and you guys are gonna hold on to these brackets, and you guys are gonna, if you guys follow the tournament, see how well you guys do.
So on April 7th, you can look back and tally up how many matchups you got right. All right. So that is when the answer key will be available.
We'll see.
Michigan, this is a shout out to you. You're gonna win.
awesome. I don't know about you, but that was awesome. I didn't exactly know what to expect going into it, but it was.
A lot of Mason Blue fans. They were feeling the
yeah,
love. They were.
We got a Drake winner. We got St. John's. A couple of Arizonas. I know that touches us.
That one was a little sensitive.
Yeah.
Arizona State alum right here, but no, I mean it's cool to see it reaching a young audience and seeing kind of how they think about it at this age, and then when they're our age, how they'll be making brackets then.
Hopefully, one of them maybe gets perfect this year.
Let's see. We will see.
We'll see.
Anyone can do it. Both my parents are teachers, by the way, so I think you guys have what it takes. Just seeing the way you guys handed out those sheets, I think you guys could do it.
Yeah.
So I want to talk about this tournament, what you guys are kind of looking for when you see this. What are some of the big storylines you're looking forward to?
Well, I think there was no better representation of March Madness than we saw last year with Greg Campy and Oakland, obviously upsetting, I think it was Kentucky in the first game, Jack Golke and everything. So I'm looking forward to, those teams, the mid-major schools kind of upset it. The Cinderellas, that's the madness of March. And I mean, St. John's, they're obviously a D1, but, winning the Big East for the first time in 40 years, I think they're on a good roll. So
Rick Pitino might get it done.
Yeah,
Tyler,
absolutely.
what about you?
Yeah, to piggyback off that, I mean, I like the double-digit seeds, obviously, see who's going to pull off the upsets here in this first couple days here, see who's going to make a Cinderella run. I don't know if you guys know, McNeese State has a great story with their student manager. He just signed a couple NIL deals. Three. He's a student manager for the basketball team. Yeah. So if you guys don't have a say in March Madness right now, McNeese State would be a great option. They're a 12 seed. And they got a great story. And obviously, we touched on it, the local players. We got Jemai Neal for Creighton and then Zeb Jackson at VCU. Be awesome to see if they can make a run with their teams and have some local talent.
And then on the women's side, you got Robin Freilich, the former BGSU head coach. I would love to see her and a local kid, Grace Van Sluten, try to make a deep tournament run. They take their basketball very seriously at Michigan State. So obviously, it would be great to see them make a run. So the thing I'm looking forward to, and then we'll move on to the next thing, Big Ten. Are they able to make a deep tournament run? Can they win a national championship for the first time in over 20 years? I think the last one we had was Maryland in 2002, and at the time they weren't even a Big Ten team, so that's retroactive. Last actual true, at the time, Big Ten team, Michigan State in 2000, so it's been a quarter century since a Big Ten team has won a national championship, so I'm looking forward to that. Do you guys dark horse national championship candidate or just a regular national championship candidate? Anything?
I mean, everyone's picking Duke, right? So I feel like that's an easy choice. I like St. John's. I don't know. I feel like St. John's, Rick Pitino, he's got it going. It could be sneaky as a 2 seed.
I did choose that yesterday, and Chase was like, what are you doing? And I thought to myself, I mean, the way my bracket worked out, I had Auburn winning. Not my first choice if I were to just pick one, but that's kind of how it worked out. I might adjust it before tomorrow. I still have a couple hours, so
we got some time.
Yeah, I have Houston. Non-power five. Yeah, I want to see Phi Slam and Jammer return. I want to see, Houston. Let's get one for Houston. Yeah. So we'll see. Yeah. I don't know. All right. Well, if you're filling out your brackets, you can always fill out your WTOL 11 bracket challenge. Make your bracket picks for the men's tournament for your chance to win. Full bracket first place winner will receive a $500 Visa gift card. Second place winner and a randomly selected entry each will receive a $50 gift card to Roosters Wings. Be sure to enter and make your picks before the first game on Thursday, March 20th. All right. We're going to wrap it up here, guys. Any other thoughts before we leave?
Let's bring on the madness.
Go March.
Yeah. Absolutely. All right. Well, that's going to do it for sports on WTOL 11 Plus. Be sure to check us out on the WTOL 11 Plus app. We are on Roku, Apple, and Amazon Fire TV. We're also on YouTube and Spotify. Good luck to everyone filling out a bracket this season, and we'll see you guys next time.